In Art Assignment Comic Part 3, I used scene-to-scene panel transitioning. I did this because of the limited number of sticky notes, because they're leaving Earth, then they're landing on the moon, and then they're planting the flag, and etc. I did scene-to-scene because it allowed me to do more with my comic, especially after I added the 5 sticky notes to make an even broader story rather than just the action to action or the movement to movement, because with that then you would need a lot more sticky notes for your comics. I felt as though I was successful in communicating my story and that the reader can understand what had happened in the story when it takes you to Houston. We have a problem, to where Houston is trying to help them get back home, and then they have to seek aid of a different country, and then they finally do make it home. I think that I was successful in telling that. But I do believe that it could have gone a little bit better if I had used more sticky notes from my comic, if I was allowed to within the art assignment, because I feel like I could have added another 2 or 3 in there to show that what was happening on the other side when they were asking the country for help. Like, this is what the country is doing to get help, and this is when they left off of the moon, and then they arrived at this new planet. And then maybe possibly what was happening on the other planet's idea, like, oh, well, what do they think? I thought maybe it could have been a little bit better if I was able to do that, but I think I was pretty successful in communicating the story. When I added the extra 5 panels to the original, I didn't want to leave the reader on a cliffhanger or take this into something extreme. I wanted it to have a nice, sweet ending, something simple. So I left it off as the astronauts queuing into Houston, saying we have a problem, and then Houston figuring out they didn't have a strong enough signal to configure the rocket. Then they had to contact the president had to contact another country, and then the country was able to configure the rocket for them, and then the astronauts were finally able to make it back home. That's why I added to the original 5 panels. That way it was a simpler ending. I didn't want to do anything too extreme, and I wanted closure for the ending of the comic. And that's why I added the extra 5 panels. I think maybe it did add and improve to the story, but I think that I could have possibly done a little bit more if I was allowed to have more sticky notes, like what if the other country ran into a problem, and what was happening to the astronauts on the other planet, what were the other planetary people thinking, like what did they do. I thought maybe that could have been a bit better, but I think that I improved the story by giving it closure. Thank you.